What's up YouTube? For tonight's video we have a full Final Evolutions Gen 7 team. Okay, so we're back with the theme team. Sorry, it's been a couple of days. This team actually took an incredible amount of preparation. Right, leave your theme team suggestions in the comment section below. The highest comment will be the winner, or you could be picked for a Mystery Monday that always lands on Monday. No sarcasm intended. Okay, so with this team, I had three choices of Pokemon, but I wanted to use the shiny variants to make up the whole team of 6 to make things a hell of a lot easier for me. Considering the team itself was actually quite difficult to use because they were all very, I'm not sure if you noticed, but a lot of the Pokemon in Sun and Moon are very, very slow speed stats. So it made things a little bit more tricky than usual, but I had some cool sets that I wanted to try out. All right, so we have a Alolan Ninetales here, and I've got my Decidueye lead. This is a choice banded set here. Now, this was a battle against Serpent on my Pimp Chat. If you guys want to have a battle against me, you can. I accept my battles there at a random time every day, or if you just want to hang out, chat, battle, trade, you can head on there. That's in the description or on the annotation on the screen with the Pimp Chat. Okay, so it's not too looking too hot here with the damage on Brave Bird, even with a Choice Bandit set. Swapping in my Primarina here. This is a special defensive wall. Here we got the Z move happening. So on this set, I've got the Rest Sleep Talk on that just for a little bit of recovery. I've got Moonblast on this, and I've also got Scald to spread some burns out through the battle. Okay, so we have Alolan Ninetales using Twinkle Tackle here. Now, this is probably the most... this animation is like rather interesting. It sort of like flies up and just says hello to you and turns you into a star. And that does about half of my health there with the hail damage there. So I'm very, very bulky in special defense. That definitely would have gotten rid of my Decidueye there. Alright, so Alolan Ninetales is going to swap out there. Obviously, it's not doing enough damage in there. So we have Shiinotic coming in here. I just went for Moonblast just to get some damage on there. That's pretty good damage. I've got no special attack EVs, but it does have nice base special attack there. Okay, so I'm expecting some sort of grass move probably coming my way. I wasn't sure if it was going to be... I knew this thing packs Spore, and I did have Rest Sleep Talk in this, which I hadn't actually revealed yet. But I thought, just in case it was more an offensive set, I'm going to swap Incineroar into this one. Now, this was also a bulky set. This is a bulky physical set on this. Okay, so luckily both of them had Sleep Talk on them, so I could easily swap into that Spore, which turned out rather well. Okay, now this was a max health, max defense set. I've got Rocky Helmet on this. I've got Rest Sleep Talk on this. Now I've got Darkest Lariat just to some coverage, and I've also got Will-O-Wisp on this. This set was actually pretty damn bulky and worked rather nicely. Okay, so we have the Shiinotic swapping out here. We have two Cannon coming in here. Now this thing was pretty scary against my team. As I said, a lot of them weren't very, very fast either, and my core really, I relied on my core a lot there. So going for the Darkest Lariat here, I got that through Sleep Talk, which is really, really nice. Does some pretty good damage there, even though, there's no attack EVs in this, unfortunately. Okay, so the Aurora Veil actually wears off there. Now the two cannons are going to go for the Rock Blast. I was confident that I could take this one, even I know that it's super effective. But as I'm very, very bulky in defense, and I was taking super effective moves actually rather well. This actually gets the Dream World of Intimidate, so I'm going to be enjoying that when that comes out. Okay, so I get Flinch there. It's got a Scumbag King's Rock on it. I'm not salty at all. And the Rock Blast hits again there. I was hoping it would miss just for a little bit of justice, but it didn't. I'm going to go down there. My first Incineroar goes down. So I didn't like losing my defensive wall so early on in the game, but at the same time, I didn't really have much to swap into there. All the other ones were sweepers. Okay, so bringing in this is my Choice Scarf Incineroar. This one actually worked rather well in a lot of battles. Took lots of people off guard because it's actually a very slow Pokemon. I ran a Jolly Choice Scarf. Normally I run Adamant, but it actually really did need the extra speed boost there. So Arcanine is going to come in there with the Intimidate. I just went for the Flea that's there to try and finish off the Toucan, but it swapped out. Does some pretty good damage to Arcanine. I'm pretty happy with that one. Doesn't do a lot of recoil damage to me either. Now here I was like, well, I'm going to have to swap because I'm a negative attack. Let's swap in Primarina again. I could swap in my Rest Sleep Talk and get the rest off and do that sort of thing. Okay, so the Arcanine's going to go for the extreme speed here. I tanked that one rather nicely. Now the Arcanine's actually going to swap out here, And I believe I went for the Skull. No, sorry, I went for the Hydro Pump here. This was my Assault Vest one. I've got that one wrong. Now, this was my Max Health, Max Special Attack Assault Vest variant. I had Hydro Pump on this. I had Moon Blast. I had Energy Ball. And I had a hidden power that probably wasn't the greatest, but that was the best I could get with the shiny variant there. Okay, so I'm going to go down to, I think that was a Giga Impact normal gem set. So I'm bringing in a Decider. That normal gem definitely made like loads of difference there. Okay, so it's down to its last little bit of health. I'm just going to go for the Energy Ball here and take that one out. Now, this was a Nasty Plot boosting Decider. Actually get some cool moves there. I've got Shadow Ball in this. I've got Nasty Plot, Energy Ball, and I think I had Hidden Power Fighting on this one. Okay, so I had nothing to hit this wing. I just went for I actually went for the Energy Ball there and misclicked it. So there was nothing I could swap into this thing either, so I just let it die. Like, I couldn't swap in my Incineroar, I couldn't swap in my other Decider, and I couldn't swap in my other Primarina there. So I had, like, nothing to swap into. It was very, very difficult. Okay, so bringing in Incineroar again. This was my only hope to try and get rid of this thing. Everything else was going to get basically outsped there. Okay, so I knew the Arcanine would probably come in against this thing, so I went for the Darkest Lariat instead of going for Flare Blitz, conserving a bit of health recoil too there, and it obviously wouldn't be very effective. Okay, so going for the Darkest Lariat, that does a little bit more than Flare Blitz, so I was happy with that one. I was like, well, let's go for it again. I might as well just try and take this thing out because it's quite annoying swapping into me, walling me all the time. And I just missed taking that one up. Now, this is an interesting move. Arcanine goes for the Burn Up here. Now, what Burn Up does, if you're a Fire type, it actually takes your Fire typing away after using it. Has very high base power of 130. And if you're just a Fire type, you actually become typeless, I believe, after using that. So, quite an interesting move there. So, say if you're Fire and Flying and using it, then you just go to the Flying type. I'd say that would be only active until you swapped out of the battle. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of the Arcanine there with Darkest Lariat again. And now Goodret's going to come in here. Now, my the moves I had on this, I had Darkest Lariat, I had Flare Blitz, I had Cross Chop, and I had Outrage. I was thinking I could use Outrage against this thing if I swapped it in after, but I didn't really want to swap myself into Outrage. Since I'm running more in Jolly as well, my attack isn't quite as good as I'd like to be. Okay, so this was my Choice Banded Decider, which I used earlier on here. Going for the Brave Bird here. The problem with this, even with the Choice Band, it just wasn't hitting really hard enough there. But it's some good damage to Goodra there. Pardon the pun. Okay, so Goodret's going to go for the Dragon Pulse here. That's definitely going to be able to take me out. And that's my Decider down. So all I had left was my other Primarina and my Incineroar. Now, the other Primarina was this Rest Sleep Talk one. So I didn't actually use that one yet. Okay, so thinking here, what should I do here? Should I go for this Darkest Lariat? Hope it kills. So I was hoping this would actually kill because I knew if this didn't kill, this would be the end of my Incineroar. So I think I just had enough damage to take out the Goodra there. Okay, so there's still 3 other Pokemon I had to deal with. So this was the problem here. Since I was locked into Darkest Lariat, I knew that that wouldn't be enough to take this out. I get Spored, so I have my other Primarina, which I explained before, which was my Scald set with Moonblast, Rest, and Sleep Talk. So I completely like mix those two up. Quite easy to do. Okay, so I knew that it would go for Spore, so that's all good. Now I had Toxic on this set. I had Toxic and I believe it was Toxic and Scald, one of the two on this set. I needed to get around this. I know it was a little bit counterproductive, but it was a gimmick team anyway, so I wasn't actually too worried. Going for the Sleep Talk Rest. And I get Rest. I bet you never guessed that one. Okay, so I'm going to get hit by the Dream Eater here. Dream Eater looks pretty interesting. Those funky cartoon clouds there. It's going to restore a little bit of health there, and with the leftovers recovering. We both have leftovers, which is interesting there. I tossed up swapping here, but I thought, nah, I'm just going to keep it in because Dream Eater's really not doing too much damage to me. And I really want to get like a Toxic on this thing so I can shut it down from stalling me. Okay, so going for the Sleep Talk again here. And I get Rest again. I bet you never saw that one coming either. Okay, so getting hit by another Dream Eater here. I was just very, I was thankful this is a special defensive set. Okay. It didn't seem to really have any grass moves. I wasn't sure what other moves it had. I think it had Spore, it had Dream Eater. I don't remember it using any other moves. Okay, so finally I wake up. I actually just went for Toxic there because sometimes, like, if you use Sleep Talk and then you wake up, Spore actually puts you to sleep for a random amount of turns. So you don't really know when to use Sleep Talk or when to attack. So I just went for a pump then that I would wake up, and I did. Okay, so I've got the Toxic on this. Now, I knew that it wouldn't probably stay around because it can't do enough damage to me, so I was expecting Ninetales or Toucannon to come in. Probably Ninetales because Toucannon doesn't really want to take any hits along those lines. Okay, so the Ninetales is going to come back in here. It's got the Snow Warning. That's going to do some extra damage there. I really had to keep Incineroar alive because that was very important to try and get past a lot of these Pokemon. So going for the Scald here, that does some really nice damage there, and I get the burn, which is good. Not that it really mattered anyway, because the next Scald would have taken it out anyway, so that burn really didn't have any effect on the battle, really. Okay, so I've got the leftovers there, a little bit of burn damage on the Ninetales. I mean, if it actually took it out from the burn, that would have made a difference, but not at all. Okay, so anyways, the Blizzard's going to hit me. I was like, well, I'm probably going to get freeze hacks here. I was actually saying that jokingly to myself, and I did. But this is the first time I've ever got to use Scald and I got Freeze at the same time. So what Scald does, if you get Freeze hacks and you use it, Scald will automatically de-thaw you and you use your move. So that's the first time I've ever got to use that. So that was really refreshing to be able to do that. Okay, so if I didn't have that move, I would have been like frozen and it would have been very, very salty. Okay, so there's 2 more Pokemon left. There's the Toucan, which I'm worried about, and there's I always forget this thing's name, Shiinotic. Okay, so there's as usual, guys, there was nothing I could do to swap. The problem with this team is it was very hard to swap some of the Pokemon, especially when I lost my tanky Pokemon. Not that I'll really, a lot of the, obviously the Primarina and the Incineroar weren't really suited to be tanks, but that was the best I could possibly do. Okay, so my last Pokemon is my Incineroar here. I was thinking the best option here is to go for Lock Myself into Flare Blitz, because that's going to be super effective against the Shiinotic, and it's going to do some nice damage to the Toucannon and hopefully take it out. Okay, so Toucannon's going to swap out here. The Shiinotic's going to come in. So I was like, this is going to be pretty close whether I actually live this one due to the recoil. Like, I really wanted to take this one out in one hit. So going for the Flare Blitz here, and that takes it out in one hit, which is nice there. So that's going to be some recoil damage plus the Snow Warning damage from Hail there. So I just hang on there on a little bit of health there. So my last, basically my last attack, this is going to be my last attack here, whether I outspeed or not. I was confident that I could outspeed. I was like, well, with all the EVs in speed, I wasn't sure if this was going to get very close to killing, like if it just lived on a little bit of health. Anyways, I finally take out the Toucannon. It took like the whole battle to do that, and I actually died to the recoil here. So it was, technically I won that one, but it was a draw. I'm just calling it a draw. So I hope you guys enjoy this one. Enjoy the bloopers.